always know where I'm headed, but I always find a way to keep going. Roll with me. Peace. Welcome to my channel. My name is Olivia, and today I want to talk about something that's not always easy to say out loud. Dating as a single mom. The guilt, the judgment, the desire, the mental back and forth of, am I doing too much? And how to give yourself permission to just be human while still holding on to your peace. Right? When you're raising kids alone, it's so easy to forget that you're more than a mother. You get lost in routines, in responsibilities, in roles. But then one day you find yourself wanting to be touched again. And not out of desperation, but because your body and spirit are just craving connection. And the moment you even think about going out or entertaining someone new, here comes the questions. Mom, where you going? Right? Or your own internal questions. Who's going to watch the kids? What kind of example are you setting? And half the time, like I said, those voices are your own internal voices. But I'm learning that taking time for yourself doesn't mean you're abandoning your children. It means you're remembering yourself too, right? But I'll be honest, the guilt sneaks in quick. You're all dressed up and ready to walk out, and then you second guess everything. Is it wrong to want joy that doesn't involve your children? Is it wrong to want to be seen, held, desired? I've honestly sat in parking lots asking myself, do I really need to go out? What if something happens at home? Right? I've been on dates while checking my phone, maybe not every 15 minutes, but taking a sec to just check my phone and make sure everything's okay. Right? Just to feel less guilty. And the truth is, no part of that is freedom. No part of it. I think that's just survival with makeup on. Like, it took time for me to realize that I deserve space to be a woman. You know, I deserve joy and romance and just playtime, fun time. But not every man deserves access to that version of me, right? But I also had to sit with some deeper stuff. The kind of stuff people don't always talk about out loud, right? And I personally think that the thing people really avoid is whether or not to have sex or be intimate. Well, I won't say be intimate, but have sex. And I'll be super transparent and say there were times I wanted to, times I didn't, times I did and then spiraled into guilt after. And not because it was wrong, but because I had been conditioned to believe that pleasure without commitment is a sin, right? That if I'm a mother, I'm supposed to be more modest, more withheld, more careful, right? And I reached a point where I really had to sit with that, right? And process it. Like, process what's behind that. Like, who taught us that desire equals danger? That our bodies are only sacred when someone else says so, right? Like, I legit had to confront my own internalized judgment because that's where it was coming from. It wasn't coming from nobody else. My fear of being bad or damaged or less holy because I chose to experience intimacy. And here's where I am, or I'm still processing, right? But one thing I do know is that I get to decide what's sacred for me. I get to decide what's healing, what's mutual, what's safe. And I no longer allow shame to make my choices. Because sometimes sex is just sex. Sometimes it's a release. And sometimes it's a lesson. But it's never a measure of my worth or my ability to be a good mother. Right? Because honestly, being a single mom doesn't mean your story is over. It doesn't mean you're less desirable, even though some people may think so. It just means your filter is different. Your time is more valuable. And your discernment, it has to be stronger than ever. You don't have time for games, but you do have time for peace, connection, laughter, intimacy. Whatever feels aligned and honest, right? You're not here to prove anything to anyone, not to society, not to judgmental family members, not even to your old self, right? You're here to feel whole, to raise your babies with love, and to remember that you're still worthy of receiving it too. So, to every mom who's ever questioned herself for wanting more, for wanting softness, for wanting to be kissed, seen, touched, held, you're not wrong. You're not sinful. You're human. So give yourself room to explore, room to say yes, room to say no, and room to change your mind. Because you get to set the terms. You get to decide what feels good to your spirit and your body. And you get to be both a super dope, incredible mom and a woman with desires. Right? That's all I have. If this touched you in any way or resonated with you in any way, go ahead and drop your questions, comments, feedback in the comments below. Just, let's just be real with each other. Because the world already expects us to be perfect. But here, in my space, we get to just be honest, right? Feel free to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, all that good stuff. And until next time, I love you all.